Watching your son play in a game that is a rivalry or a super competitive game is incredibly exhilarating. It's fun, it's stressful. This year I would say one of the highlights was, for him, I know for me and for my son, having him be a part of taking Salisbury to overtime was an amazing, and also having his father play at Washington College and having that have been the War on the Shore is incredibly important to us, and that was an amazing accomplishment for them.
Because that's the way it was in those days. Washington College, this was actually before the NCAA had divided in Division 1, 2, and 3. So everybody played everybody, or at least Washington College played everybody. Navy was on the schedule, Maryland, Hopkins. When I was here, we played Brown, Yale, Hofstra, Syracuse, and we beat most of them. The two teams we struggled with the most were Hopkins and Navy. Fortunately for me, that's how I got the Navy job, as we beat Navy my last year of coaching here.
My favorite memories of players got to be beating Navy in 1982. That was a surreal experience. They were probably ranked 5th in the nation.
In the 70s and 80s, our rivalry with Hobart was my freshman year. We played them for the first national championship there ever was in Division III. My sophomore year, we played Cortland for the second national championship there ever was. And so the rivalry then sort of began. Hobart, as it turned out, won 11 national championships in a row. That's before anybody ever heard of Salisbury. We used to beat Salisbury by 20 goals. Then, so eras changed. Through the 80s, Washington College continued a really strong dominance, went to the NCAAs almost every year, went to championships. Salisbury then grew, that rivalry grew as they became stronger. I think probably the defining high was beating Navy. We had never done it. We had played them for 50 years and had never beaten them. And we didn't just squeak by, we beat them 14-10. That propelled us to, we played in the national championship game that year at Hobart. And so you would think that would be the defining high. The problem is we lost that game by a pipe shot in sudden death overtime. So I'm going to get over it some year. Don't worry about it. It was 1982 and I'm almost over it. I only wake up once or twice in the middle of the night in a cold sweat.
Back in the day, you know, we helped to prolong the dynasty that started really in the 50s through the 60s, the great teams of the 70s, and in the early 80s, I think we did our part to uphold that when we played in 2 national championship games. The one in 1982 stands out. We lost 9-8 in overtime to the mighty Hobart Statesmen.